How to certainly kill uncertainty on sales calls. This is one of the biggest areas that I see salespeople and business owners really spending time sharpening their sword on, right? If you just search the word uncertainty and maybe add sales to it in any form, you're going to see a ton of content on this. So when we talk about uncertainty in this video, what I'm referring to is pure uncertainty, true uncertainty. People that just have nerves, that just have jitters, they just aren't sure. They don't know. And internally, they're kind of wrestling with being on the fence. And they could kind of rock and sway themselves to the yes side, to the no side, right? So that's what we're referring to here. We're not referring to uncertainty that comes from what I call lacks and gaps in your sales process. So if you have a prospect that becomes nervous or doesn't know because you haven't uncovered everything, because you haven't gone through the right type of process on the sales call, if you've dropped price and you still have embedded objections and then that gets into the mix and it gets messy, that's a whole different area of uncertainty. What I'm referring to here is purely just the right kinds of people being on the fence, and they need a good reason from you to hop into the yes side. And if they don't get that, the likelihood that they hop into that or knock themselves over onto that side are slim to none. And a lot of the time they're going to be in no man's land, or they're going to be on that no side, right? So I want to spend a couple minutes talking about that here. And I help high ticket online established business owners leverage these kinds of things in their business to close more deals. So this is impactful for you as a business owner. This is impactful for your sales team. If you're a closer, if you're somebody that's professionally trying to sell someone and deal with uncertainty, I'll give you one of the most effective ways that I've seen to address true uncertainty, to knock someone into a yes side, to get someone into your business, to get someone actually into your offer in real time, and how to help them actually help themselves and help you and your business and your offer and your revenue in the process. And this kind of marries another question that I've seen out there existing quite a bit is, should you offer a trial in your business? And again, this is going to be through the lens of kind of that coaching, consulting space. We can talk about ways, if you want to connect with me, grab the description link in the area below. We can talk about ways that we can implement this for other businesses, because it'll look a little bit different. But if you have a coaching or a consulting offer, I'm sure you've wrestled with a trial before, or you've consumed content, or you've seen people offer a trial. And so these things go hand in hand, because offering a trial in the right way to the right people is one of the most effective tools I've seen for killing uncertainty. And so we'll first talk about really kind of when to use this, who to use it on, and then actually how to use it. And so if you think about your sales and your offers as a ladder, you have kind of your initial offer, and then you kind of work your way down based on what someone's response is to that. This would be probably the second from last rung on that ladder. That last rung, or that ground step, if you will, would be probably a downsell based on your offer, your initial offer. Right above that would probably be this trial offer. So this isn't what you're leading for initially. You don't, kind of handle everything, transition to talking next steps and investment and all those things, and immediately go into a trial, right? No, this is really kind of second from the bottom after you go over, full investment, breaking that investment up, going through all those different things. This is going to be several rungs after that initial offer. And this is really, again, for people that are stuck and they just need a little bit of incentive to get in there and to really see it in a much more engaged way, to make a much more informed and well-informed decision. So that's kind of really when to use it. Who this is for is a high quality prospect that is stuck, right? This isn't for everybody. You're not going to offer this to everybody. It's just too much work. It's too much logistics. They're going to be frustrated as a prospect. You'll be frustrated as a closer, as a business owner, offering this to everybody. This is for somebody that genuinely will take action on what you're offering. They genuinely have the capital. They have the desire. They really want to get to the desired outcome that your product or your service will help them get. And they really just need a push and a good reason to get started on that in any capacity right now. So that's who to use it on. And how to use it is this. When you have someone that's at that point, right, and you have kind of gone through all the different rungs, this is likely going to be normally at the end, very end of a sales consultation, and they're still just not sure, right? They've been through basically as far down the point in the sales process with you as a business owner, or with your sales team, or with your closer, and they're still not sure. What I like to do, because I am working with this process as I'm going. I am seeing how serious they are. I'm seeing where their desires at, what they're saying to me, what their body language is, all these things. I work that into it as really the second to last step by just saying this. If the prospect's Bob, good old Bob, right? Well, hey, Bob, I understand you want to take some time to think about it, right? You're not quite sure. I want to mirror whatever they've told me, the reason they're not moving forward right now. I want to mirror that, implement it on what I'm saying, address it. So if they just said, hey, I need to go think about it, I need to sleep on it, I need to take the time, I need to walk around and contemplate it, whatever the case is, I implement that in there by saying something like this and then bringing that trial in. Hey, Bob, I understand you want to take some time to think about it. I totally get it, right? What I've normally seen, because I've done this a long time, right? We've talked about all those aspects on the sales call, my experience, the business experience, all those things. Hey, Bob, I've seen this happen quite a bit, believe me. And what normally happens when someone goes off into kind of a vacuum and they make decisions by themselves or without not having all the info, or they're trying to think about it or ask someone else that maybe is not as familiar with the product or with the service, it just kind of leads to make a decision without all the information. And so what I would recommend is that you make a decision from inside our program versus outside of the program. Let me explain what that would look like. We get you started today. We'd process the investment that we talked about earlier. Hence, you would loop back to that and then let them know that they would be making a decision from the inside versus the outside. And my client that I saw implemented this, it came from Cole Gordon. And I'll link Cole Gordon's original video in the description so you can check out Cole and kind of what he says. My client kind of took that and together we kind of made that process our own. And it was highly effective because you're letting them know, hey, you feel like you're maybe lacking information, right? You feel like maybe you're lacking, kind of that internal drive for a yes or a no. You're not giving me a no, right? And you've already unrooted if they're just trying to get off the phone, if they're just killing time, if they're just kind of buying their time for that, right? You've already got past that. So you tell them that, and then you let them know, hey, why don't you make a decision from inside the program versus outside? Most of the times that I've seen this used, it's been in the coaching and consulting space. So again, if you have an offer that's different than this, grab the link in the description below and we can talk about how we can implement this in the right way for your offer, or how you can kind of amend your offer to accomplish something like this, because it is highly effective, but obviously it has to be a fit for what you're offering. Otherwise, it doesn't make much sense, right? But this is super well placed for a coaching or a consulting offer, where you can have someone come into the process, work through the material, see how they get support from you, support from your team, really see what the process is actually like, and then be able to make a decision in a certain amount of time, whether they want to continue with that or whether they want to hop out of that and get a refund. So you want to process an investment for somebody to do this, right? I wouldn't recommend giving this to somebody for free because everybody's going to take that, right? Everybody's going to do that. That's going to lead to a higher refund rate because they don't have skin in the game. It's the likelihood that they maybe take that seriously if they have a question or they need help diving into something when they don't have that skin in the game is going to be slim to none. So not only is it logistically going to be a nightmare for you and your sales team and giving refunds, the likelihood that someone really takes that seriously to getting help and getting to a desired outcome, the likelihood that you're able to help your client do that's a lot less too, because they don't have that skin in the game. So you want to process an investment for somebody to do this, and you really want to give a specific time frame for how long they have to kind of work through that and be able to make a decision. Yes, it's for me, I'm going to continue, or no, it's not, and I'd like a refund. And what I normally recommend, again, this could be a little bit different depending on your offer, but what I normally recommend is about a week-long trial, right? So the way I would kind of break that down to them would be, hey, come in, work through the material, connect with us, go through these steps, get started on the first aspects of this. Let's work together on that, see how we'd actually work together, what that would look like in practice. And we'll give you a week to decide if you like that, if it's in alignment with you, if you feel good about that. And if so, great. You're already in, you're already rolling. You've made a decision not only with all the aspects at play, but you've already made momentum in solving the problem that we've talked about. And you would insert whatever that problem or whatever that first step to solving that problem would be. And hey, if for any reason you don't feel like it's for you, it's not right, you want to try something else, you'll email us, you'll connect with us, you'll give them the way that they'll connect with you, and we'll process a full refund there. And you have 7 days to make that decision. So you can make that decision from inside the program versus outside with all the information at play, and you to actually be able to get started making steps towards solving this problem. Sound good? Perfect. Let's get rolling, right? And so you give them a time frame, and I will tell you, the client that I saw implement this and the client that I work with to really implement this on the conversations that we had, in about a year that they offered this, that we worked together, I only saw two people request a refund purely because they weren't connecting with the material. And one person, they came in, they had an emergency, and there were some other aspects at play. So it was really only about one person that I ever saw come in and just go through it and say, hey, not for me, right? That's it. And so my client closed and increased probably 6 figures worth of revenue by offering this to the right people that they likely wouldn't have had a fraction of that had they not offered that. Right. So yes, they had to process 2 refunds. Yes, they had, a $7,500 program and probably spent, $500-600 in processing charges to do that. But $500 or $600 to close 6 figures worth more revenue that did stick around, that did implement this, that did get results, that these people were better off because they offer that. And the business, my client, was better off because they offered that. They got to help more people. They got to have more of an impact, have more of an income off of that. Is dramatically such a game changer for people. So this is how to certainly address pure and true uncertainty. It's how to feel good about doing that. It's how to help your prospects feel good about that and put them in a position to move from that prospect side into a client side. And then you really work with them to help them stick as a client. But it's going to get them off the fence. You're going to get an initial yes. And more times than not, I see that initial yes stick to a full-time yes, and you're able to have such a greater impact and income around that than you would if you didn't offer this. And I can tell you, as a salesperson, your closer, your sales team is going to feel really good having this in the rung that they can work down to, knowing that this is a killer offer. It's a killer opportunity for someone to come in with an escape hatch built in. So literally no risk. Hey, like it, you continue, you're already making progress, fantastic. Don't like it, change your mind, whatever the case is, you hop out with the full refund. It's no harm, no foul. Your sales team is going to feel really good about offering that as well. And as a business owner talking to people about this, you'll feel good about it as well. The people that you'll connect with will feel good about it. And I'd love to help you with that. So if you feel like you don't already have that at play in your offer, you don't already have that at play in your sales conversation, if you feel like you need help implementing that there, if you feel like you need help with your offer implementing that to make sense in this type of sales, proposition to a prospect, grab the link in the description below. And I'd love to take time with you learning more about your business and us working through ways that we can implement this for you as a business owner, for your sales team, for your closers, to actually be able to have a substantial impact in the people that you help and the revenue that you generate from this simple way that you can kill uncertainty, offer a legitimate, well-oiled and well-placed trial, and actually help people help themselves while you help your sales team and you as a business owner. So grab the link in the description below. I'd love to talk with you more about how we can implement this. It's one of the final pieces of our conversational closing framework that we talk about on this channel. And I'd love to share more with you on a call for how we can implement that in your business